Welcome back to the channel, everyone. We're here at a Wisconsin hotspot, and I'm gonna try to see how much gold I can get in 12 hours of mining. But first, we gotta do some prospecting and find a good spot to set up. So let's go. So let me show you the first spot I'm gonna dig. Now, the main body of the river comes right here, but then right here, there's a little low pressure area. So I'm gonna dig right there and see if there's any gold. I think the gravel being so hard is a good sign that nobody's dug here before. So here's our heaping pan of material, and let's see what it's got. Get those big cobbles off of there. Ain't gonna help anything. Once that's all stratified, all that gold should be at the bottom. And I can just strip off all the light material. Just like that. And now I'm starting to see a little bit of black sand, which is a good sign. And then we'll toss it back and see if there's any gold there. And there is. Actually quite a few pieces. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pieces in one pan. Not too bad. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my 1/4-inch classifier and classify a bucket of dirt and then run that through my sluice. As I get deeper, I'm hoping the gold concentration gets a little bit higher. If it doesn't, maybe I'll move to higher ground, but let's start here. Big old rock. Wonderful. There's probably all kinds of gold under that. Sweet. Gold likes to hide under big rocks. I've gotten pretty deep in this hole, and I was hoping that I'd find a clay layer, because that clay layer kind of acts as a false bedrock and the gold will stick to it. So they say those are great places to find gold. But I haven't found the clay layer yet, but let's take a test pan and see if the gold is any better down deep. So down deep, it seems like there might be even less gold than there was at the surface. So I'm gonna take that bucket of dirt I classified, sluice out, but then I might head on to better ground. I'm gonna put my big rock back in the hole so nobody comes along and steps in it. You can see there's grass on this branch. That means the water level was that high. Holy cow. So I sprinkled the dirt in my sluice. It gets stripped off of there, goes into all these little roilers, and all the gold settles in the bottom of these little pockets. Here's a different size one. It catches a different size gold maybe. And you can see all the sand kind of going in that circular motion. It's churning it all up. All the blonde sand gets stripped away and all the black sand gets left behind. Black sand and gold, I should say. Okay, that's the last of it. Let's see how much is in it. All right, let's go pan that out. Take that material and put it in a pan. Let's see how we did. That's all the black sand that we got from our concentrates. Just check that top edge and see what's there. Gosh, I didn't do a good job. I gotta redo it. I'm new. You can see some pieces sitting on that black sand as I pull it back. Pretty light, small pieces. Well, I don't think I have my sluice running right because we didn't really catch all that much. Let me show you. So there are some nice pieces there, but just not a lot of them. So we're gonna move to better ground. Now in a lot of creeks I've been, I'd be ecstatic to find that, but here I know we can do better. So I'm gonna go prospect some more, and when I find a good spot, I'll get back to you. Now typically, the gold that we find in the Midwest is from the glaciers, the ice sheets that came down and kind of scattered it around. But there's a spot in Wisconsin where they call it the driftless zone. It's actually Wisconsin, Minnesota, and part of Iowa that the glaciers missed entirely. So that wouldn't be glacial gold. We're right on the edge of the driftless zone. So the question is, where did the gold come from? The boundary of the driftless zone isn't well defined, so we may be in a glaciated area, and when I look at geologic maps, it does say there's some glacial till here. So I'm prone to think that the gold is glacial. However, some people have another theory. But while we're digging around, let's see if we can find any evidence that the glaciers were here. Some people believe the gold was carried by a meteor when it impacted this area, but I'm not convinced. So behind me is one of the reasons people say there was a meteorite impact here. You can see the layers of dolomite or limestone, so magnesium-rich limestone, but you can see they're not flat. They're tilted. And in this area, there's no mountain building, there's no tectonic activity, so why would these rocks be tilted up? They theorize an impact from a meteorite. And it seems like there's a lot of evidence that that's the case. But did the gold come from that? Probably not. It's probably still glacial gold. You see how the rock kind of comes down and swoops up like that? Doesn't make any sense. Unless there was an impact. Geology is cool. Nerd. So if you take a look at some of the rocks we're digging up, we got crystalline igneous bedrock here. We got a chunk of granite there. We got some of the dolomite there. There's some fossils. Some sandstone, even a piece of gneiss. So all this is evidence that this is glacial till. This one's well-rounded. There's no bedrock like this anywhere that this river cuts through. This is a localized stream. So this would have been picked up by the glaciers, dropped off. That's what we call a glacial erratic. So this would have been dropped here, and so would the gold. I think people get the wrong impression when they see the sign about the meteorite. They think that was a source of the gold. It's probably not. Fast forward on my way out of here, I climbed up on this big ridge, and it's a steep slope down to the river that way. I think we're on a glacial moraine. I don't know, but glacial moraines probably explain the gold. Glacial moraines and eskers are some of the glacial features that you want to look for when looking for glacial gold. However, I'm just a guy on YouTube. Do your own research. Meanwhile, I found some more gold, so I'm going to sluice out another bucket. That's all of our concentrates from the second sluice run. I'll kind of show you where I set up here. Now this is a smaller tributary that runs into the bigger creek. Now it comes down here and there's these little grass fingers here. So I started digging along the grass finger and I found some good pieces of gold. So I decided to classify a bucket, and there's good gold there. So now that I found some good gold, I just want to get as much material run as I can. So I'm going to classify another bucket. These gosh darn deer flies are getting bad. So here's a trick that my dad taught me. If you don't want the deer flies to get you, you go get these fly tape window strips and you safety pin it to a baseball cap. Then you peel the plastic off. And you wear it like so. So on the back here, any deer flies, they get stuck on the tape. Do I look like a dork?
Yep.
A smart dork. Now when people find out I got into gold mining, they'll ask me like, well, how much do you make doing that? Nothing. You don't make a thing doing it. It's just fun to do. I was so excited to come out here today that I couldn't sleep last night. I was like a little kid ready to go to Disneyland.
We're too excited to sleep.
I got up at 4:30 in the morning. I drove an hour and a half to get here, and I'm having tons of fun. That's what it's worth. I don't have the best indicator map, but you can see there are some pieces of gold sticking onto it. All right, bucket number 2's done. Actually, that's bucket number 3, but bucket number 2 from this spot. Take a quick peek at a few pieces. Oh, wow. Yep, there is still plenty of gold. Let's get another bucket. Today's episode is sponsored by nobody. I don't have a sponsor. Will you please hit the like button and subscribe? You can be my sponsor. So I kind of dug everything up along this grassy little ridge here, and I've taken a few test pans, and our gold is kind of dried up. So I think it was kind of a localized string that we lucked in on. I think we might have to move and find another spot. So I came upstream just a little bit, and that's where my sluice box is set. And just off to the side, there's this other grassy little island here. There's some water that comes down on this side, and then this big pool here. And it looked like it was all muddy, but it's not. Like, that's all hard gravel. So I took a test pan there, and there's some good color. So I'm gonna fill a classified bucket right there. Look at right here on the branches. There's grass and stuff from the water. It gets that high sometimes. Amazing. I won't want to be standing here then. That is banded iron formation. So that's like what you find up on the Iron Range in Minnesota. Took a long trip from the glacier. So I got that classified through the sluice. I'll pull this back a little bit and see what's there. I gotta be honest, there's really not much there. A couple small specks, but I really expected more. So you're gonna get more gold just running dirt than walking around looking for a place, but I know there's better places here. I've seen people get like 20 or 30 pieces in a pan, and I'm probably not gonna find a place like that, but I think I can do better than this. we'll keep prospecting. So the next spot I'm gonna try is this inside bend where the gravel's building up right there. I'm gonna take a pan. I've been mixing it up between if I classify the pans or just put the rocks in there raw. And I think I like it better when I classify it. Can you believe that? Not one single speck. Onward. Next spot I'm going to try is that low pressure zone right in there. So that pan had about 5 specks. I'm not sure it's any better over here than the spot I left, but I'd rather get more dirt going than keep walking. So I'm not going to find anything by walking. I'm going to fill up a bucket here and run that. There's always a possibility as I dig down that it gets a little better. So we'll just see. See, I think it just got a little bit better, maybe. Now I've been told that clay is one of the best indicators. This acts as like a false bedrock and it's sticky so the gold will stick to it. So if you find clay and gravel, that's supposed to be a good sign. Let's see. Look at that beautiful banded iron formation. Wow. And some bitroidal overgrowth on this calcite. Very cool. Getting my degree in geology taught me a lot of big words. Doesn't mean I know a thing about finding gold though. They never taught me that. Now I saw more and more pieces on the indicator map that time, which I haven't been seeing. So either the lighting is better or the pieces are better. There's just too much concentrate to really handle right now, so I'm going to do my special trick here where I dump it out and that black sludge is the most concentrated of the concentrates, and I'll just take a look at that. Well, I know there's some gold that went off with the rest of it because this black sand is kind of hard to separate this fine flour gold, but this gives me a real good indicator of what's there. It's not bad. I think those are some of our biggest pieces of the day, so I think I'm going to stay at this spot for a while. So it's about the 8-hour mark, and I gotta admit, I'm getting a little tired, but I'm still having fun. As Ryan Trahan would say, you gotta have a fun drink. I know the only people watching this video are gonna be middle-aged men, so y'all are like, who? He's a YouTuber.
The fun drink just unites people. It's what it does.
So I'm sipping on my fun drink, and I look down, and guess what I see? It's a pair of spectacle tweezer thingies. What a find. So what you do with this thing is you can look through the magnifying glass and pick up your little pickers of gold. Maybe that's a good omen. I think we're gonna need this by the end of the day. So there's some more pieces there, but really not as many. So I may as well move along. I think I'd rather see more of the river and just keep prospecting a little bit instead of staying here with that amount of gold. So I'm going to fill in my hole and head to the next spot. Just ran into a guy not long ago who said that a few years ago this place was actually shut down because there were so many people leaving their holes and just digging it up and being a mess. So I don't want to be a mess. I don't want this place shut down. So fill in your holes, keep it clean, don't ruin it. So the next spot I'm going to try is, water's coming pretty rapidly right here, but there's a low pressure zone right in there. So I'm going to take a test pan there and see if there's any gold. Well, there is gold there, but just one flake. I'm going to take one more pan down deeper, try to get past some of those cobbles. And if there's not more than that, I'm going to keep on moving. And 3 more specks in the pan deeper, so I'm gonna keep moving. Gross, a leech. Ew. Esh, 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 esh. Ah. So I've hit a part of the river where it's kind of stagnant, kind of slow moving water, and the bottom's kind of mucky. So I don't think there's any gold up here. So I'm gonna head back and we'll hit some spots that we hit on the way up. Ow. There's a little gravel that gets in between my sandals and my feet, and it's very uncomfortable. No! Get out! Go away! Get out! Get! Ah! I need a pair of hip waders. Go away, you nasty little thing. Ah! No! Nah. Why won't it come off? Come on. Oh my gosh. It's like Velcro. Get out of here. Ah. Stay there. Holy cow, I just threw that leech in the water and a fish came up and grabbed it so fast. There needs to be more fish in this thing. Another reason to wear waders, the stinging nettles. Going through the woods around here in shorts, oh my gosh, it burns. But we're still having fun. It burns though. All right, I got 2 more hours to make it to my 12-hour mark. I'm back at one of our other spots and I'm gonna try to get another bucket, classify it and run, see if there's any left. And at this point, I'm not even gonna test pan, I'm just gonna run material. I'm sure there's some specks in here, and if I run enough, I'll get more specks. Sure is a peaceful hobby. Yep, there was still gold here. I shouldn't have left, but I got to see more of the river, so you know what? It's okay. So this will be my last bucket. I've lost track of how many buckets I've run. Quite a few. But we spent quite a bit of time walking and prospecting. So that's factored into the 12 hours. It's been a long day, but still having fun. All right, here's the concentrates we got yesterday. I don't have a fancy cleanup sluice or anything like that, but I do have a kitchen strainer and a bucket. So I'm gonna take the concentrates and sift them down to a uniform size. So it's all strained out, and here's my pile of bigs. Now it's possible that there's a piece of gold that size that I got from this area, so I'm gonna check that out. It's not likely, but it's possible. So that's a lot more manageable pile. I take a small handful at a time because it's easier to deal with. And we hunt for gold. So when I see the gold, I take my snuffer bottle and I snuffer it up. And then I turn it the other way and sift through it again because I know there's still gold in there that I missed. It's the final scoop, and in theory, this should have the most gold in it because it kind of settles at the bottom of the bucket. That's a theory. So now the bucket of concentrates is down to that little tiny bit in the thimble. Not the thimble, snuffer. I'm gonna go through this, look for pickers, and then we'll clean this up. I don't see any pickers, so we'll go tally the final. I run a neodymium magnet on the bottom of the pan, and that helps pull out some of the magnetics from the gold. And there it is. 12 hours of backbreaking shoveling. So I'll put this along with my lifetime collection. Almost enough to cover the whole bottom. And to think all these years of living in the Midwest, I didn't even know there was gold here. So 13 hours of mining. Is it worth it? Monetarily, absolutely not. But is it a lot of fun? You bet it is. Eventually, I'll fill this vial. And some of you out there believe me too. Catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.